Hello, this is Snow White with a little video that I just put together that covers July 16th, 2016, called Sign, Knocks, and Foxes. My next Bigfoot Diary video is going to cover July 2016, so this will go along with that month. On the 16th of July, I took a walk down into the west side, and the first thing I came upon was this, it looked like a swipe in the dirt with a hand that reminded me of when I found that dirt pile out beside our porch, where something had scooped the dirt into a pile. And it was pretty big and right in the middle of the path, so I'm not sure what it was, but I thought it was interesting. It looked about the same size as the other that I found in the front of the house. Then as I walked down the path further, I saw this, which caught my interest. There's a branch that's broken off of that stump, but whenever we get to the next picture, it'll show a little more why this is interesting. It was twisted and like broken straight down and stuck into the crack of the bottom of the stump. So I don't see how that could have happened naturally, to be twisted and stuck in there. So I think it had help to get stuck down in that crack. So I continued walking further on down into the woods, and I came across this. Bunch of sticks all over the place, and what caught my attention was all the ones stuck leaning up against this tree, and the ones that are obvious there at the foreground is formed into an X. So you see they're crossed over each other. There's two underneath and the one on top, but they each lean into a separate fork of the tree. And they make the X, of course. And there's my little fox friend. I was just trying to get some more detail on what was going on here. And then when you look up underneath it there's a whole bunch of small sticks stuck into the fork of the tree too. And I wanted to show how they were sticking out the back of the tree. So I go around the side. Well, first I wanted to show how they looked from that angle, the small sticks, but there you can see them sticking out the back through the forks of the tree. I'd like to say too that fox is the one that's been in my videos so far, but he disappeared, so he's not down in there anymore. Then as I walked down in a little bit further, then I saw all these sticks like stuck through that. I think it's a fork, either a fork or a hole in that tree. I think it's where 3 of them come together, 3 of the branches from there. But anyways, look at all those sticks stuck in there. No way that happened naturally. Then my camera on my phone messed up. It had only done that one other time, and it's when I was trying to record what I thought was Bigfoot's down in the dump area banging on something, and it messed up like that, so that was strange. So anyhow, I continue on down my walk. There's the red fox that was down in there. It's also not there anymore. They either get out or something gets them. I don't know. Coyotes. There's coyotes on the property along with other stuff. So you see here the red fox. So the fox that we were hearing earlier must have been the silver fox. So I was back up at the top of the hill, and I decided to look around a little bit, see what I could find that was interesting. Something other than the cute little fox. So I walked up to the path that comes down from the trailer and started walking back up it. I noticed off to the right there is a tree break. And that tree break is broken in the direction uphill that leads out of the woods. And you can see there's some things leaning up against the break. And while that's interesting on its own, I noticed across the path is another, I don't think it's a break, but there's a big log leaning, seeming to be pointing in a direction. I think it's pointing the other way, which would be down the path into the woods. And the fact that they're right across from each other on that path, I found to be very interesting. And then when you take into account what else I found right there, which I'll show you in just a minute, it even makes it more interesting. And the next thing I noticed was right here on the ground. Triangle. And the sticks on top, I don't know if they're part of it or what, but it's definitely a triangle. And this all is right at where the two paths intersect. The one that goes off to the right there is where all the tree breaks are. And also, this was crazy, right there at the intersection is a stick stuck in the ground. Dead center of the path. Hello, little fox. So cute. In just a couple seconds, you're going to hear wood knocking or clacking, so I'm going to be quiet and let you listen. So I was looking up in there to see where that knocking was coming from, and then I turned and started back up the path. And that log right there that's in the fork of that tree, first time I found it, I thought it must have fell there, but the more I look at it, I don't know that it just fell. It's more like it was placed there. Then off to the right there, you see that weird little branch pulled straight down. And that all happens right there at where the two paths join. So moving along. The next thing I came upon really, really caught my attention. It was not down there the last time I walked into this part of the woods. As you can see, it forms what I would call an upside down T. I was really fascinated by this because it just was so obviously not natural. And then this branch that's vertical is stuck into the ground. It did not grow there. That didn't grow there. That wasn't there last time I was down here. Moving along again. This is where you come to the tree breaks off to the left of the path. This is the first one. It's old. This is the second one, and it's newer. Well, called 2012 new, but that's when we found it freshly broken. And then this is the third one. See, it's still got live leaves on it. And it's not new, but it's definitely broken. And there was a fourth one right beside it, but it's gone now. It was a small one. I do have pictures of it early on in my videos if you want to go back and look at it. There were also at least 2 more breaks up on the hill behind where I'm standing. And this is that same one, I just backtracked. So then I just started walking out. This was up at the top of the hill. And I decided to walk out up along the fence line. And at this point my battery died, or was almost dead. I had just enough battery to take this picture. And I took it because off to my right as I was walking out, those branches on that tree moved. And I saw nothing like a bird fly away or an animal or anything. It's just the branches moved like, well, pretty high up. I'm not sure how far up in the tree, but it was far enough that it wasn't some rabbit or something. So anyhow, I wonder if I was being peeked at through those trees as I walked out. And it just happens to be where the knocking and the clacking was coming from, right up in there. Thanks for watching.